Every time you want to talk to me, Daryl.
I feel like
Every time,
that's every episode. I'm doing that all of the time, TK.
Daryl. Every time you want to say my name, I'm gonna say your name.
Are we live? I don't even think we're live, actually.
It says live at the top of the screen.
It says live at
It
the
just
top of the
it takes a second
screen.
to get onto YouTube.
Are
So
we live on
we got a
YouTube?
we got a show. We got a show.
We got a show?
We got a show today.
All right. Well, I
We
hope
have
it's working.
probably a
Oh,
show
it's
that's gonna
working.
be informative today. There's gonna
Informative
be
today?
there's gonna be some knowledge today, right, Daryl?
I think that there's going to be definite knowledge today, and I'm very excited to see where things go because, we have our little discussions all the time about AI taking down the realtors, and it seems like there's people out there
One of
making
our
an
own
one of your own making an
working
effort.
against us.
That's right. That's right, TK. He is working against you guys, and we don't
Yeah,
know
no
why, but we're
way.
going to get to the bottom of it. But
He's making it better. He's making it better. I love it.
well, I mean, we have unemployment that's going up, and this, I guess, won't help things. But on top of that going up, TK, people are fleeing the country right now at like unheard of rates,
Daryl,
paces. It's crazy, Like we're losing
negative
people.
population growth.
Negative population growth. What the
What
hell's
happened?
that all about? Who's
Daryl,
leaving?
what happened?
Who's leaving is the question. I can tell you what happened. I can definitely tell you what happened, but then I think that there's different perspectives, but I don't know who's actually leaving. Like I know a few people that left, but
I know some people who passed.
who passed, like
Yeah.
died.
And then you got to look at the birth rate and you say, who wants to have a baby right now?
Hold on a second. What? Hold on. We're talking about
People passed away.
people passing away as
So,
part of
yeah,
the people leaving
calculation on
Canada.
population. Yeah, that's how. What happens there is
Right, right,
sometimes
right. Oh,
people are born, right?
I didn't know it was like a birth rate, death rate, overall population thing. I
So
thought it was like
when
people
somebody's
leaving
born,
Canada.
right, we added one person, right? And then when someone dies, we took
Right.
away
Uh-huh.
that added person.
Got
So
it.
yeah,
Understood, TK.
but a whole combination of things. I mean, look, you got an aging population. You got people right now who are going to be, passing away from different, reasons. Whether it be old age or disease and all that kind of stuff. But you have an aging population, which we haven't experienced before. That's only going to get worse as the baby boomers age. And then you have this other like phenomenon right now of like a bunch of people who are basically saying it's way too expensive to live in Canada for me to consider having a kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, whatever it is. The birth rate's dropping drastically.
Right. So you got the people that are sitting here going, this fucking sucks now. I'm getting the hell out of here, right? There's better
Yeah.
opportunities in other places. But you also have the people that came here and were
Immigration.
like, fuck this shit. Why the hell did I come here? There's nothing for me here, right? I can't
Yes.
drive Uber for 25 years. This is crazyville,
Repatriated
right?
immigrants. Yeah. And
Repatriated immigrants.
that's
But
it. That's what it is.
well,
That's the formula right there. And all those
all of
reasons
those.
are all contributing to less population growth, which holy smokes, what a turn. Like we just basically went from like population growth,
Yeah.
housing supply, we
Yeah.
got like no houses, man. It's just like the green belt, and like I can't believe it. Oh my god, we need to build like 3.5 million houses or else.
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh,
Uh-oh.
population shrinking. We got all these condos no one wants to live in. We got purpose-built rentals being built everywhere, and
Yeah.
a bunch of people who are about to go bankrupt.
The safe haven of Canada is not so safe at the moment, is it anymore? Jesus Christ,
Changed
what a
pretty quick.
turnaround though.
Changed
But
pretty quick.
now we did bring in an extreme amount of people, right? We did bring in an extraordinary amount of people in a short time. So shedding some people, I mean, did we even have room for everybody that was here?
Well,
We didn't have the
obviously not when you
services for
got
them.
27 people living in a basement apartment, right?
Right,
That was
absolutely.
that was that was an issue, right?
That
And I
was
think
peak.
that the government, like Canada's so nice. Like we're not like ICE. We're not like, going to be like going around checking people's ID. Doug passed that rule where he said anybody who gets their driver's license renewed now has to show proof of status. So that's a new
Okay.
thing where people now, who are staying here illegally, they shouldn't be on the road essentially. And so therefore he's saying, no, when you
Like
go renew your
you
driver's license, you have to prove that your status here is valid.
You can have a driver's license and not have a valid status here?
Yeah, two totally different things.
That's just absolutely
Two
perfect.
totally different things. And there's a
Holy
bunch of
Jesus.
people and activists and people and human rights. Like, listen, you know, a mother who, you know, gave birth to her kids here, supporting their family or whatever, like they came here, they want to stay. They're working on the immigration paperwork, Daryl. They want to be here. They will be here. It's just right now, technically, they're not allowed to be here, but they got to drive. They got to get to work. They got to do stuff. So they've got, cash jobs and things like that, but they got a driver's license. Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, speaking of law, we got somebody wants to say something quickly, a little message from one of our friends here.
Two options. You can either like and subscribe, in which case Daryl likes you, everything goes well in life, life is golden, or you don't, in which case you're dead to him. You're just dead to him. Go ahead. Click that button.
Okay. Well,
that was a threat. That was a threat.
Sounded like a threat, didn't it, TK?
But it doesn't seem like Canadians are willing to do the hard work. You know, they're not going to go around chasing people to get rid of them. They're just going to be like, wait till your student visa expires, wait till your work permit expires, and then just go home lawfully and, you know, head back to your country. And we're not going to renew, you know, they're changing all the policies on immigration. We're not going to renew it. We're not going to give you those same options we did before. You can't bring your spouse. You can't, like, they're really making it so they're gently saying, hey, thanks for coming, but we don't want you. And that's the feeling. And there's been protests. There's been protests about that.
Right. So, but I mean, they kind of duped those people into coming here, and then they said, you know what, there isn't anything for you here. But the crazy thing, TK, that Daryl? We have going on in Canada is, hello, we have the most natural resources on Earth, okay? We have gold, we have platinum, we have palladium, we have nickel, we have oil, we have natural gas, we have potash, we got this pot, we got this ash, we got everything, TK. And we can't fucking make a penny around here. We're all in debt up to our eyeballs, right? Everybody's credit cards are maxed out, mortgage to the tits. Everybody's got 17 condos that can't close, right? The whole world is falling apart here in Canada. Meanwhile, right now, the Straits of Hormuz or the Strait of Hormuz or whatever the fuck it is closed. Everybody needs natural gas. Everybody needs oil. It's what?
It's not closed.
It's not closed. Well, it's closed to everybody who needs to get through it. Right.
It's got restrictions.
Well, whatever, TK. You know what I mean. But the people, more than
trading
ever,
in Chinese yuan will allow you to pass safely through the Strait of Hormuz right now. So,
or gold, I suppose. Gold would work if you want to haul in a bucket of gold to pay for that. But TK, the point is we should be way better off here, okay? And instead, we're not. Like, look around, man. There's a lot of shit going on around here. And there's announcements every day of closures and bankruptcies and power of sales and foreclosures and all kinds of crazy shit going on.
Yep.
And then on top of it, you know, you've got AI coming in, and I keep telling everybody,
Daryl, don't say it. AI is not coming for me.
AI is
it's
coming
not coming
for you.
I promise you.
For you. I can promise you, TK, it's coming for you. Before it does, and before we bring on our very special guest, Mr. Daniel Foch, who is basically the Canadian real estate media in a nutshell. We have back at popular request, TK. We have a little bit of a, pick me up, a little pick me up time. Are you ready, everybody?
I'm feeling a little low. My energy's feeling a little down, Daryl.
Right. Here we go.
Daryl, I think I need a little pick me up. I feel better.
Enough of that.
I feel better. I feel better.
Good?
You look good. You look good. That was like, I think I saw that. I think that was posted on TMZ last night when you were out.
Oh,
you told me you were having company at your house last night, but I know you were out. You guys were celebrating.
I'll tell you, I posted that somewhere, and I don't know where, and I can't find it right now to delete it because I guess I had to post it to make it. Anyways, without further ado, he's French. I got to get this right. Without further ado, Mr. Daniel Foch, everybody.
How's it going?
Welcome to the show.
Can we get a round of applause? Is there a clapping?
There is. Just the guy on the board is horrific.
It's okay. People.
There we go.
Hi,
Mr. Daniel Foch, everybody. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
We're doing
First,
good over
first
here.
of all, prove to us that you're the real Dan
Yeah, it
Foch.
looks kind of blurry over
I
there.
can't do that.
How many
Can't do it.
fingers? Can you hold up
Show
six
us
fingers?
both your hands at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my
Is that
gosh.
a middle finger? Are those
Oh my gosh.
claws?
You can't trust anything you see on the internet anymore.
I hope
That's why that's why I buzzed my head and you know, I just change my hairstyle every 3 weeks. It's like AI couldn't possibly do that, you know.
That's
Good
right.
point. Good
You
point.
have to-
All right,
you
you're
have to
in. You're in.
prove it.
You're in.
That's
I was
my
gonna say
stepdad.
Dan Foch from Valerie, but then I was like Dan Foch from Dan Foch. You know, that's he's just got so many things going on. You got so many hats. Eventually, it's just going to be a little media empire of all the stuff that you got going on.
What's
It
his
is
hat
funny,
say
like
today?
a lot of people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I think at this point I don't really do anything. I just promote stuff that we're working on with
That's right.
other like random partners.
I love it.
Which is fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. I like
Good
it.
place to be. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're filling a void, and it's you know, and you're at the head of the revolution, the AI tech revolution here. I don't know if anybody knows exactly what's going to happen or where it's going, but we're working on stuff.
It's
Yeah, I
amazing though
mean-
that you've kind of grabbed onto that and kind of taken the lead all of a sudden. You're very AI oriented right now.
I feel like I don't know, like I have a decent gut. Like I always talk about my investment strategy as like all guts, no nuts, you know, like I called Bitcoin like super early, but like never went all in. You know, like housing market, like I'm decent with direction and timing, but I never like, maybe I didn't have enough capital, didn't have enough like risk tolerance, but now it's like I see this trend and it's very obvious how it's going to change certain industries, especially ours. And so I'm like, this is my chance to, you know, make life-changing money on this thing. I think that's one. And number two is, you know, I've actually observed it making meaningful impacts in my life and the lives of a lot of the real estate professionals that we work with at the brokerage. And so I'm like, you know, let's do this. Like, well, I think I have a really good team on the development side that actually builds this stuff. And so I just wanted to get after it, man. Like, I have experience
just
with.
to make sure that we kind of keep your image, you know, as high as possible. Are you on an iPhone 13 right now? Like, is this on my end only, Daryl?
No, live he looks okay. It's good.
He looks good on the live. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Just to make sure.
Yeah, I'm on like a 4K Nikon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. On the live he looks crisp and beautiful.
All right. Good.
So hold on a sec. So I mean, I don't know how many people are on the cutting edge like you and even know what the hell we're talking about. I mean, there's definitely a few people that are super into AI, and then there's a lot of people like TK who don't think that it's as powerful or it has the potential that it actually has right now. You clearly are riding a crazy wave right now with this OpenClaw thing. And so, you know, I'm super intrigued by OpenClaw, but I don't have, I'm that perfect person that you talk about in your videos. Like, I don't have the fucking time to set that thing up. That thing is, I think it's a lot of work. Maybe it's not even a lot of work.
It is for sure. And it shouldn't be set up by non-technical people. Like, if it's your first time opening a terminal to install OpenClaw, you probably shouldn't be using OpenClaw, you know? I would like, you can do a lot of this stuff now. Like Claude, basically, they had a huge misstep. Like Anthropic had a huge misstep with going after the OpenClaw founder because of naming stuff. Like it was originally called Claudebot, and they've now been like scrambling to try and get back sort of to that like viral superiority that they had before. Everybody on like Twitter was like Claude pilled and all this stuff. And so they're basically building their own version of OpenClaw. I would say the limitation, Claude's insanely expensive. Like I would call it AI for rich people. It's not as capable, but you can do like, I want to say like 80% of what you can do with OpenClaw on the new Claude iteration. So they have dispatch now. They have schedulable cron jobs, which is like, you can ask it to go back and do tasks. And it's just really expensive. Like you're gonna limit out on your tokens, and the max plan that you can get with them is $200 a month as a consumer, unless you're using their API system.
Okay, so you're speaking Chinese to most people for sure.
Yeah.
I'm following you, but most people don't understand what you're talking about. So give some people out there some examples of what you're doing, like what you're automating with this system.
Yeah, so we basically use it to replace the labor layer, right? So I think like a lot of people think about AI as like replacing SaaS, like, oh, I'm gonna go vibe code my own QuickBooks or whatever, but that's actually not happening, and it's probably not going to happen. You know, the big like SaaS apocalypse that we saw in the stock market was probably more a reflection that their valuations were way too high to begin with, and they've sort of come back to real life. And this was the excuse to do that. So you don't really see a lot of people replacing SaaS. Maybe they'll make like front end facing apps. Like, you know, we built our deal analyzer tool for the podcast as an example on a platform called Replit. So that's number one. You can build your front end on it. And I built like as a realtor, like a full IDX website that plugs into Treb data, CREA data across the country using my realtor feeds legally. And that took me like an hour and you know, maybe $20 worth of credits. And then after that, you start eliminating the labor layer. So real estate, for the most part, outside of like the stuff that a realtor actually should be doing, which is maybe 30% of the work, if not less, is all like administrative, repetitive workflows. So like I log into Broker Bay, I search an address, I book a showing, you know, I input a listing paperwork. Like I just take something from a PDF and put it into a form on the internet. Those repetitive workflows are like what AI is now the best at. And like it's better than the error rate. You can either hire a VA, which is going to cost you like 20K a year, or you can do it with AI and it's going to cost you like 2,000 or 3,000 a year. So those are the things that we're replacing. You can give me an example and I can tell you whether or not it's possible, but I would say about 90% of what a human VA could do, it can do.
You hear that,
So
TK?
like, yeah, so like I'll give you examples, like posting something on social media, you know, like
Yeah,
catching,
that's easy.
you know, catching a trend or something like that and saying, hey, try to post, you know, using my accounts like that. Setting tasks. So follow-up boss. I signed up for that homies thing. Like there was like a beta thing. Explain that to me, because I don't even know what I signed up for. But I was like, it sounds like it will be useful and that Foch
That's
is
what we're talking about.
promoting it for a good reason.
Yeah, so it's basically like it's like I'll just be honest, it's an OpenClaw wrapper, right? So we've taken OpenClaw, which is open source code. I mean, I guess you know, Claude and all of these other labs have done it as well. They're just taking code that exists and building their own version of it. It already plugs into all of the tools that realtors use, and it already has all of the skills and features that you would need as a real estate professional. So I think you're starting to see this evolution of like specialized niche versions of OpenClaws being rolled out in different industries, and we're trying to build that for the real estate profession. So it plugs into FUB, it plugs into GHL is the CRM that we use because it has an embedded social media manager to do the other tasks that you just mentioned. It already knows how to log into Broker Bay, use your 2FA, go through, click, book showings for you. It'll use a map feature to actually map them out intelligently, and then use the Broker Bay tour feature to schedule them properly. Once you get them, it'll add them to your calendar. It'll add your clients if you want to. It'll add the address, so you can just open up a calendar invite and tap the address and go where you want to go. It can draft offers and leave them in your sky slopes for you to review and then ship. I mean, the list goes on, right? There's the feature list is massive, but that's what homies is. So they're basically just they're assistants, your homies, and they each serve different tasks. So there's, you know, a whole team of them. You get, you know, there's a listing homie, there's a market analysis homie, there's home evaluation homie, right? And you just call on them to do these different jobs that you would be doing on the day to day. This allows agents to be, I mean, we're in a profession where if we're doing our job properly, we shouldn't be able to be at the computer asking AI to do this stuff all day. So you need a remote way to access it, which OpenClaw gave, and now all the other labs are sort of following that. So you can access it via iMessage, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever. Ask it to do stuff, and it'll give you the outcome, and it can even push that outcome to your clients if you want. Most people haven't got there yet.
Yeah. I saw sort of like the beta sort of advertising for it, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that there's a huge amount of leverage. You said the number 30%. You said so realtors right now should only be doing 30% of the work. The other 70% should be outsourced, essentially.
Yeah. I think so. Like
Right.
the way that we look at it right now is there's like 3 buckets, and I think that this will evolve into 2 buckets. But as it stands right now, like we have most of our customers audit their business and say, like, create a list of everything that happens in your transaction process or in your business process. And it varies, but usually, like, there's a couple of edge cases, but it's usually pretty standardized. Um, if you're the only person who can do it, that's a D for do, right? Then if there's somebody else who could do it that is cheaper than you, another human, send it to them. Like, bookkeeping might be a good example, or your own year-end accounting. Like, you shouldn't be doing that job. Your accountant should be doing that, but AI probably shouldn't be doing that. So that would be a D for delegate. And then the bottom layer is automate, right? So ADD, because I have ADD, that's the perfect acronym. You could call it add, but I like to call it ADD. So automate, delegate, or do. And if you take the tasks that happen in the real estate profession, about 30% are in kind of that do phase, which is, calling and building relationships with your prospects and clients, out showing properties, meeting people, being belly to belly. So it's really going to strengthen the relationship element of real estate and put a lot more value on agents who do that really well. And it's going to diminish the value of the administrative side of real estate because that a bunch of that can be automated away.
Yeah.
So
Makes
we're
sense.
automating away the office staff because these are, I guess, tasks currently done by the admin, or I guess these are I guess if you don't have an admin staff, like you're not part of a big team, then you have to do all this shit yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cumbersome, right? Like most agents, like you look at like the prevailing kind of like thoughts around books that realtors would read to be excellent at their jobs. Number 1 would be like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. Number 2 would be, there's a book called The E-Myth for real estate agents. That's where you hear like working on the business, not in the business. So if you're doing admin stuff, you're working in the business. If you're doing high value work, like building your brand, building relationships with customers, actually executing deals, that's working on the business. And you want to push yourself closer to that more and doing more of that and freeing up. But like admin stuff takes up a lot of time and it's very low leverage tasks. So getting rid of those low leverage tasks, replacing them with AI or a human VA, and then freeing up more time for you to be an expert at working on deals and talking to people about real estate.
Now let's talk about the video where the guy is showing he's making all those offers on Zillow. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's in the States, right?
Yeah.
And it was a great video, right? For you to put out there, because obviously it's like,
Yeah.
so cool to even think about that kind of stuff. But there's just like a million different things wrong with that.
Yeah, for sure.
For us to be able to, as a real estate agent, be able to actually transact like that. Now, as like a wholesaler real estate investor guy, that's cool. I think that's, a great way to, go out there and throw offers around on whoever you want. But as far as like having a realtor, utilize that type of offer writing, like what are the challenges?
Well, the big thing is like you're still the one who gets sued if something goes wrong. And I know that, offense or not, no offense intended to agents, a lot of agents are lazy, right? And that's why we have a lot of people who want what we do, but a lot of people are probably going to use, the reason we did the 100 offers thing was just to illustrate how easy it is to do anything at scale, right? Like nobody's going to use it to do 100 offers. I hope we didn't hit the send button on those 100 offers. We just did it because it actually did an evaluation. It took a multi-step workflow, valued the properties, came up with the lowball offer, drafted the lowball offers, and those were all sitting in my inbox ready to send.
Awesome.
An agent should only be doing one of those at a time, right? Or, a couple at a time if they have multiple clients, and then it's sitting in their inbox or even in their sky slopes because it's not even getting sent to the client for signing until they've acknowledged that it's perfect. Which, typically if I had a VA and they were writing my offers, they would be writing the offers and then it would be sitting in my sky slope, and then I would review it, make any final changes that need to be made, and then I would click to take it through the signing. When the signing comes back, I send it because I know that it's been approved. So that one's an excellent example because an offer, if you're going to get sued in the real estate transaction, that is probably the most likely place for it to take place. It's probably the most likely document that's going to show up in court. That's one where agents really do need to be exercising a lot of QA, quality assurance, and actually reading whatever the AI comes up with. A lot of it's, a lot of bigger higher producing agents use like they have templates and the forms are pre-populated, and they actually just subtract clauses rather than add them. So, you can take steps to mitigate that, but I would still say you're going to owe it to yourself and your clients to actually read through a lot of this stuff. Same thing would go with listing presentations, CMAs, et cetera. But it's the labor of getting there, right? An offer is like, it takes 10, 15 minutes, really. A CMA or a listing presentation, now we're talking, multi-step tasks that take maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. If you can have one of those ready on your desk and all you have to do is review it and change a couple of things, and it shrinks that from 2 hours to 20 minutes, that to me is a huge improvement in an agent's workflows.
For sure.
For sure. We have a caller, TK. Somebody wants to call in and ask Mr. Foch a question.
That's unexpected.
I don't know if it's unexpected. He tried to call last week. He's called every week. It's kind of annoying, but he's a big fan of the show. He's a big fan of Dan Foch. We've got I think it's Chet again from Alberta. Dan?
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, here he is. Oh, that's not the right thing. Hold on a sec. Is that where?
Oh.
Remember to breathe when they let you on. Oh my God, hey guys, it's Chet calling from Alberta. Thank you so much for taking the call. I'm so excited to be here. Dan Foch, I love you. I was wondering if you could answer a quick question for me. What the hell are you thinking trying to get rid of real estate agents with OpenClaw? Have you gone mad? I love you anyways, but have you gone mad? I love you, Dan. Bye.
There's Chet again.
Chet seems to be a fan of everybody but us, Daryl. That's,
He
everybody
does
comes
not
to the show he
like
loves.
us,
I like
for
Chet.
sure.
Yeah.
Chet from Alberta wants to know, what the hell are you thinking, Dan? What is going on?
I mean, I don't look, it's kind of like when we do a lot of stuff in the multiplex space for the podcast, we like do events and whatever, and people are like, oh, like, trying to force everybody to live in 15-minute cities and urban areas and whatever. And it's like, I'm not actually trying to do that. Like I live in like the country. Like I don't like urban living, but the market has communicated what it values. And, so I'm just using this as an example. The market says that most people in Canada live in urban areas. I think 70+% of Canadians. Globally, 50% of people live in urban areas, and that's expected to go up to 70% of people. AI is like a very similar thing, right? What have consumers communicated about their perspective of real estate agents? Well, number one, they don't like us at all. They think that we're probably the worst, most rent-seeking, parasitic profession in the world. And number two, they think that we're overpaid. Number three, they think that they can do our jobs. I don't know if any of those things are necessarily true, but you cater to what the market says. And if you can make it easier for real estate professionals to fee compress, which, Citrini Research put out this report, that the one that Citadel had to like fire back on. And in it, they mentioned that they feel realtor commissions will probably compress from 6% to 1% over the next 10 years. If that's the case, like, let's assume that that's a potential outcome. We need realtors to be happy making 1%. And in order to do that, they need to be able to reduce their workload significantly. What this will probably do is it means that the number of agents in the market will go from 100,000 in the GTA down to 10,000 or 5,000. The ones who remain will be exceptionally good at their jobs. They'll be the ones who are delivering results for their customers, have exceptional customer service, have really strong relationships with their clients, and have really strong backends built on technology and labor that is able to actually deliver on that promise. And people talk about like going peer to peer. I can buy and sell my own house or whatever. I don't think that that's actually a realistic outcome for a lot of people, simply because for most professions, the reason there's a broker of sorts between you and whatever you're buying is because you need somebody to be a legal protection. We have E&O insurance and legislative barriers to do that. So I don't necessarily think I'm trying to replace realtors. I think I'm trying to replace 90% of the work that they do. Yeah.
So, but why still a commission basis in your vision there? Like, why is it not just a fee to do a job when most of it can just be automated? And now the only difference is really a number at that point, right? If everything else is, can be done in a split second by a computer, and all you're doing is, I guess, I don't even know what you guys would be doing at that point. That's even the next question is like, okay, this is the
Daryl,
intro. Hold on. This is the intro to the automation of the realtor, right? But eventually, like we've seen AIs that are so clearly like so almost real, right? And you mix in these voice apps and these crazy, like soon it'll almost be better to deal with a fake person because you get the right answers, you get the answers immediately, they're pleasant to deal with, there's no ego involved, you don't think you can't trust them because for example, if the price goes from 1.8 to 1.6, the realtor doesn't give a shit because their commission changes by like $500, at the end of the day. Like those kind of things, So like, is this the first step? And yeah, I don't even know what the hell the question was, but I got a lot of statements there.
There's a
No,
lot.
yeah.
In there.
So
There's a lot in there.
you were going to say something, TK, or?
No, it's okay. Go, Foch, go.
Yeah.
Because it's
So
irrelevant
I
now
think like
after
the
Daryl
reason
that rant.
Yeah, the reason that it's a sliding scale, I think, and it will probably continue to be, is because it's if what we're paying for is deal processing, legislative protection, and the ability to sue somebody, that also scales. So if it's a $2 million house, then the amount of money, the losses that I can incur in doing that transaction that I need protection from the real estate legislative system are going to be maybe $200,000 if it's, let's say, a 10% risk rate, whereas if it's a $600,000 house, it's 60 grand. And so you're paying, it's basically insurance, right? So you're paying like a 1% fee for insurance that if something goes wrong, you can sue and E&O will cover that gap, which is also probably a percentage or most easily interpreted as a percentage of the value. So that's why I think that the sliding scale commission probably won't necessarily go away. Like, I don't think that you'll get, I mean, look, there's tons of models where there's, flat fee for sale by owner, whatever it is. And I think the other piece that kind of sits on top of that is the real estate profession is functionally a, 1.5 million strong sales force that is trying constantly to convey the value of the profession. And they seem to be pretty good at that, especially when they're not doing a lot of deals, which, both Canada and the US right now are not doing a lot of deals. They have lots of time to communicate their value proposition. And so I think until you erase that and there's something that can better convey the value proposition on a one-to-one basis to consumers, like no marketing of our OpenClaw product or AI in general can outspend how much money realtors are paying. Like look at Open Door, which was two Canadian ex Shopify guys just went in and are kind of like really turning it around. They're doing an exceptional job. And but even then, like that's a wholesaler, right? So they'll buy your house off of you and then they'll go flip it in the market. And so you get a guaranteed sale. It's still really hard for them to take a meaningful market share because they're trying to pull it away from millions of practice salespeople who are shilling the other version of the industry on a constant basis to consumers.
Yeah. It's definitely got a whole new dynamic to it in relationships and all that kind of stuff. Daryl, quickly just on that point with the sliding scale it would be like a developer saying, whether I'm doing a 50 million or a $200 million project, I should make the same amount of money because the work is the same, right? But the profits are different, the scale is different, the risk is different, everything is different. So you got to have that sort of perspective. Is a higher end sale has more risk to it, and you want to make sure that somebody's doing a better job. And Dan's side is the insurance factor. There's more risk for the realtor to be involved as well too. But I think that basically what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a lot of changes happen really, really fast. And I think that everything, I'm just like a naturally skewed toward nothing burger type of person. It's not like I'm like anti anything. I'm just always like, I never think anything ever ends up being as bad as what people, or as great as what people think it is.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember VR?
Meta just shut down. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Their whole entire
metaverse.
VR program. They changed their name from Facebook to Meta. And then they're like,
Yeah.
all right, we lost 80 billion. Like, let's just move on. So I think that there's going to be a ton of great additions to every industry because of AI. I think there's going to be a huge amount of waste that goes into AI as well. I think that guys like Dan are going to actually come out of this with the best tools. And I think that most people, like you see Compass, you see these big real estate companies with just like deep pockets that are just like heavily into tech and are just kind of like bullying the traditional real estate brokerages into into their system. But the real estate industry is probably the slowest industry to adapt to any changes whatsoever. It's completely resistant to change. And so it's going to take a really long time to be able to turn the corner where what Dan's model, what he's talking about. And I'm with you on this too, by the way. I've been saying that. I didn't think about the AI side. I just thought for realtors commissions to come down, we need less realtors. And then that way realtors can still make the same amount of money a year who are doing really well. They'll help more people and they'll charge less. I didn't know how AI would be an element, but you're absolutely right. The realtor's got to be willing to do it. He's got to be more efficient and everything else too. But it's going to be a really long road to get to that point, unfortunately, just because of how like this one particular industry is.
Adoption wise, you mean? Because I think the tech's kind of almost there.
We're using lock boxes with a little 4-digit code on it, Daryl, still, that anybody with like a screwdriver or anything can just prop open to get inside the house. Like, believe me,
What's Valerie use? What does Valerie use for lock boxes?
Same thing, honestly. Like there's
really?
I mean, like we could use there's like decent RFID or like digital lock boxes, but they suck, man. Like realtors hate them.
They got issues.
Because it's like, just give me a freaking code, you know? Like it's like,
Yeah.
why do I gotta pull up an app on my phone and be within a certain, you know, and hold it up to the thing and then call you for a code anyway because it doesn't work 80% of the time. Like
that's the worst.
you know. So yeah, well, also like no offense to the profession, but you have like some of the most non-technical consumers on earth, right? Like we have to idiot proof everything that we're building because you know you're literally working with you know, you're working with people who are
industry
Lazy.
for highest income producing ratio in the world.
Yeah, for sure. So like even for us, like the stuff that we're building has to be, you know, really simple. And like I think lock boxes are comparably, you know, that's a really excellent example, right? What do we do that's different than other people? We have our sign guy install lock boxes so that our agents don't have to, as an example. So eliminating the labor layer, saving them an hour driving to and from a place. And then it also means that we know where all our lockbox inventory is. We get to use our branded lockboxes. We can be in control of the codes, et cetera, when they come on, when they come off. So it eliminates the headache of them potentially having a you know, lockbox left on after closing or whatever it is, right? So these are very like simple things that individual mom and pop agents that aren't running businesses, that are self-employed or work for their clients, aren't doing, that I think you're going to start seeing these bigger sort of like enterprise level teams like what TK's on, or brokerages that they're full service for agents and can keep those costs low for a lot of their what they provide, are going to change the game, honestly. Right.
Well, you got a lot. What I've experienced in the last little while is that you got a lot of these brokerages or teams that are fat cats, you know, that they made a lot of money over the last God knows how many years. And you got like a second generation in there and a third generation in there. And, you know, they don't really need to work and they don't really give a shit about the work, but they have a network and an office in a good location, you know, and they're not really willing to do all of the things that people kind of need right now, like, you know, be on time and, you know the technology. Because I think knowing the technology right now is what a lot of the consumer, I guess we're talking about two different consumers. You're talking about the realtors as your consumer. Now I'm talking about the consumer as the consumer. Like, don't they need this tech layer to really know what's going on more than ever right now? Especially since people don't trust anything right now, especially realtors that are like on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and everything.
Yeah, I would say so. Like consumers are using the tools, right? Like we had a chatbot on our website, on the Valerie.ca site, and like the objective was sort of to be like House Sigma, except where consumers could have much deeper conversations about properties with an AI and actually learn a lot more and get further in the sales process. And consumers are using these tools, and now people who are more advanced users of AI can like plug in certain things to, or build scrapers for realtor.ca or whatever, or build scrapers for House Sigma. And you know, not that they're supposed to, or that the data layer is supposed to allow for that, but you can do it. It can be done if you're using AI really well, which like there are a lot of advanced consumers out there for like end consumers for AI. You can do your own CMAs. You can do all of these things. So you have a lot of those layers that, so if agents aren't doing those things, they're not competitive anyways, right? Like if your consumer already can do the bulk of the work, right? Why did people originally, start feeling like they could go direct to the agent or whatever when House Sigma started allowing valuations to be public or had their AVM public? Well, because people thought that one of the primary things that real estate professionals did was value properties, and for a long time, agents kind of pigeonholed themselves into that position because there was, the market was so fast that you didn't really have to do anything. Now the market, we're not in that market anymore. It actually does require a lot more work. It requires marketing. It requires, a bunch of tasks that realtors probably ought not to be doing because they're just not high leverage tasks, but they're necessary tasks. A lot of that stuff gets automated. It reduces the work burden on a realtor. And like you often hear the idea that innovation is deflationary, right? It is so because now your consumer, like you mentioned, is doing a bunch of the work. So that shrinks. They're more educated by the time they get to the agent. And then your agent is probably doing a lot less of the work. And so the likely outcome is that we see fee compression be a more acceptable outcome for realtors. Before, agents would resist. They wouldn't go show property guys properties. They wouldn't go show FSBOs, et cetera, even if it was offering a fee. Now agents are willing to do what it takes to get deals done because there's so few deals and it's a lot easier to do deals.
So one of the things that Daryl mentioned too about the second and third generation companies, like what do they have? They have balanced trust accounts, right, Daryl? So
Yeah,
they have money, so it means that they're not stealing from it, and that becomes the issue with anything new coming into the real estate industry. Is it's a tough industry, and you're going to burn a lot of cash trying to do the new thing. And honestly, you know what I lose listings for? The number one reason I lose listings, my whole last 5 years, I would say, is not because we're not going to do a better job, not because I can't get them more money, not because I'm not offering a better tool or a better system or have more knowledge or anything else like that. They're just like, I like the other person better. It's like my friend, it's my family member, it's somebody that, has been talking to me for 15 years, knocking on my door, cold calling. Like, that's what people make selections over. And I got lots of data to prove that. So it's not always going to be the consumer saying, I want the best.
Sorry.
That's okay. They're just saying, who is the person, like, Dan's saying, getting belly to belly with me at my country club and at the bar and in my office and da-da-da-da-da. And then, it's a dumb decision, but that's who they go with because they just feel comfortable. It's a very personal type of industry. And it's just like, you're going to be with this person looking at houses all the time. They're going to be in your house advising you on what to do, and you're going to be talking to them every day. Like, it's a personal thing. So it's like, these tools are great. I just wish the consumer, and this really has to do with the consumer. The whole reason agents are employed is because the consumer deems us to be a valuable service, and that the fee that we get paid on both buy and sell is, again, based on the market, a service that they have decided is worth paying for at those rates. The consumer needs to change, actually. That's what needs to happen.
We need
in order
options
for the industry to change.
Yeah, the consumer needs options. And speaking of the consumer,
you heard it here first. Stop paying your realtors.
Stop paying your realtors. Well, this guy will agree. Hopefully you don't mind, Dan. We got, I don't know if you know Don M. He's a legend in the Canadian real estate YouTube comment space, but he's going to join us for a second. He's got a couple of things that he'd like to speak to. Do you have time to stay on with us?
Of course.
Of course. Well, here we go. The legend in the flesh, Donnie M, joining Dan Foch. This is a legendary episode, TK. What's going on, Don?
I'm really happy for Don right now.
Because he made it on?
He gets to talk to Foch. Yeah, absolutely.
What's going
Congratulations, Don. How are you?
Thank you. Good, and yourselves?
Great. We're just doing a show.
Nice.
What's going on in your life? Tell us a little bit about
it. Just packed up, ready to go do some service work as soon as I'm done with you guys. And yeah, that's about it.
But I missed some crazy pictures. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I missed some of the conversation earlier. I wish I was up to speed, but I'm really not.
Well, here's your moment, Don.
Okay, I just really have one question.
Yeah.
Okay, TK, as a realtor, what would you say you guys really do here?
There you go.
Foch, go ahead. He's better.
You take it first, Foch. Yeah.
We just ask AI to do everything for us, and then we talk to the consumer and collect the check. No, I would say what agents actually do that a lot of it is capable of doing from AI now is know what a property's worth, market analysis. A good agent would actually know things about structure, property, etc. So they take you through the house and show you things that could come up in an inspection. Then you have like sort of side-by-side comparisons. So like I can go out and value 5 properties side by side using AI or like from a desk. But when I'm out in the field, it's very different, right? Like if I'm walking through a property and one house has a crack in the foundation and the other house doesn't, and I know that that's going to be a $80,000 to $150,000 fix. Now we have, real apples to apples in the field comparisons. I think that those are the things that realtors actually like do in the process of looking for properties. And then they're like a mini lawyer on the front end to negotiate your APS, et cetera. But I would say the scope of work is not massive by comparison to what we get paid, to tell you the truth.
And honestly, I think you're a competent realtor could do that. Like you guys are competent. Like
Sure.
I have faith in you. I have faith in TK, but I do not have faith in the vast majority. And I don't think Canadians actually do either, right? Like that's the thing. Like I think a lot of the scope that you guys do, AI is going to eat your lunch. And then why are we paying such exorbitant fees for the transaction then?
Well, we figured it out, Don. So AI is going to make every realtor more efficient. We're going to eliminate 90% of the realtors, and the 10% of the realtors will do the work, and that they'll be happy to make less because they'll have 100% of the business split between the 10% of them, and that their daily load will be much less because they're using technology. So we didn't fix the show, but we fixed the industry here at the Canadian Real Estate Show.
But how are we going to find true market value? Because I think the realtors have been gatekeeping with their feelings. Like, I feel I should get paid more. I feel I should keep these valuations higher. So therefore, I'm going to goose the system a little bit.
That's not true. That's not true. That's a huge misconception that realtors control prices and tell buyers to pay more in order so that they can get paid a higher fee. It seems like that. It makes sense, and the storyline makes sense. But literally, I could not imagine a realtor being able to control a buyer or a seller to pay more or less for a home as much as if we did, believe me, like that would be amazing if we could just control the market and to go up, down, but we have no control. It's the
What about this guy? What about this guy? Does this guy have control of the market?
They might.
Subscribe. Hold on. Double subscribe. I'm double subscribed, and I the show. I fixed the show.
No, he doesn't have control either.
What about this guy?
Subscribe. I'm double subscribed. You should be double subscribed, and I fixed the show.
No,
sorry. He doesn't either. Sorry.
So I'm sort of on with what Don's asking. Like I think that realtors on an individual basis can absolutely cause like small market distortions, or like let's call it like a negative externality for like their single client, right? Like I would not, but I could probably, because I have high trust, make somebody pay a stupid amount of money for a property, or make a seller sell a property for a lot less money than they should if they're trusting your judgment, which is what most people hire an agent. That's one of the reasons why they do it. But that's one data point among thousands, and so I don't know if it would ever be capable of skewing the average and the median, because in most cases the transaction isn't people who are working with agents because they trust them and they're using their agent as a guide. They hire their agents because they're the guide and their agent is just taking orders from them. And so the market and the market's ability to actually create itself and be a free market is probably less distorted by realtors than we would like to imagine, would be my opinion.
But there is peace and logic and comfort that a realtor brings to a very highly emotional decision that's the largest financial transaction of most people's lives, and that part there is what AI can't replace. So we've also figured this out, Don, that it's 30% of what a realtor does is what a realtor will continue to do, and the other 70% will be based on strictly using AI. So you missed the conversation, but I'm updating you.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
And I'm of the opinion that if we're getting rid of 70% of their work, we'll see their fees compressed by a comparable amount. Personally, I actually believe that that'll happen. Like innovation is deflationary. You've seen it in every other industry. So,
can I interject for a minute?
Sure.
That's why you're here, bro.
Okay, so 2021, 22, whenever everything was going nuts, what was the realtor's advice? If you want this house, you got to bid it up. You got to bid it up. So maybe the AI could be like, I don't think this is a good idea. Because like, who's doing the negotiating? I think the moral hazard is just too much.
But we talked about that a bunch of times, Don. It's not just the realtors, it's the appraisers, it's the mortgage brokers, it's the lenders. Like
no, I know. So if the AI was there, right? Maybe it could keep it in check.
Yeah, the AI is going to agree with everything you fucking say. Like, that's what the AI does for the most part, right?
Yeah.
It can automate shit.
Had a $50 million deal. He was posting a video this week where both people asked ChatGPT, am I underselling the property at 50 million? ChatGPT says, yes, based on all these facts, you are underselling the property at 50 million. The buyer said, I would like to buy this property for 50 million. Am I overpaying? ChatGPT says, yes, you're overpaying. And both realtors came to the table and said, ChatGPT told me not to. And he had to make a video about it just to prove that AI just sort of confirms and gives you comfort on whatever it is that you already believe. So
with certain
the other thing that I would say is, like, if we go back to agents being order takers, so like you go back to 2021 when the market was ripping, 20% year over year, and people were piling into the trade. If you look at like historic mutual fund flows in Canada, Canadians are like horrible investors. Okay, so we get in at the top and we exit at the bottom, and any asset class illustrates this for Canadian retail investors or consumers. We're just not good at timing the market. And so I would say that it's just as much the, those consumers who, and yeah, they probably could have benefited from sound economic advice, but then you get a lot of people who are literally saying, when I post stuff on social media where I'm talking about economics and data, and I'm literally doing a master's of science in economics, and people are still telling me, hey, you shouldn't be talking about this stuff as a real estate professional. So it's like, do we want agents to know stuff about the economy and use that to advise our clients? Or do we want to tell them that they're all morons and that they should never talk about the economy? And I don't know if you can have it both ways. Like right now, should I be telling people about the economy? And I was doing the same thing in 2021, and everybody in my profession was telling me that I shouldn't be doing that. And everybody outside of my profession was telling me that I shouldn't be doing that because it's not within the scope of what a realtor should be doing. And they're not actually necessarily wrong. So like AI could be doing the same thing, but is it within the scope of what a real estate transaction should actually be? Is a bigger question, right? Like, are we capital advisors? Are we economic advisors? Are we analysts? Or are we somebody who facilitates a real estate transaction?
Right.
No, I just thought everything was easy to see. Like, I'm a layman, right? Like, just an electrician and a carpenter. That's all I am. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I read Modern Money Mechanics.
You're safe from AI.
For now. Hold on. I got John Gotti here, just for some reason paid $10 for me to say this to you guys. Tell Dan I say hi, and tell TK how many jobs will be created from importing Chinese cars. What a loser. Love you, Dan.
There's going to be a heck of a lot of jobs in China. John Gotti.
Sorry, but he paid $10 for that, TK. Okay. I had to say it.
It's okay. I've been ignoring his comments for like
John
2 months.
He's great.
So,
he's
right?
Like
so now he just paid $10 to get it in.
He's the best.
Listen, guys, I'm ignoring your comments unless you paid Daryl $10, and then I will take it on the chin.
You have to pay $10 to comment.
That's
he just
awesome.
he just set the bidding war for comments right there.
That's the floor or the ceiling. Okay, Mr. Don M, the legend, in the making, in the flesh. One last little comment from you, sir, before we have to let you go.
Is everybody happy with where we're at in real estate?
Realtors certainly are not, but I think everybody else is pretty happy. Yeah.
Who's everybody else?
My real estate over the last 20 years. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the basement boys still think we need to come down like 20, 30, 50%. So they're probably not happy yet. But
don't they think it is going to come down another 20, 30, 50%?
Yeah, like they're we're down 30, between 20 and 30% depending on the market. And I think they think it's going to come down another 50%. So I don't know.
What do you think?
It's always 50%. Well, it's always.
I don't know. I mean, they're like, whenever I say show me the math, they're like the wage curve, and I'm like, we're literally like 10% above the wage curve right now. So if we come down 10%, we'll catch the wage curve at current interest rates. So unless interest rates are 8%, then the wage curve would obviously be completely different. But I don't necessarily see that being an outcome. Like bond market's telling us, rates are maybe 50, 100 bips higher on the max over the next 5 years because of oil shock. And that's probably going to end up being net deflationary anyway when the market crashes from demand destruction. So another 10% wouldn't surprise me.
10%.
Another 15.
Wow.
I think 30, 35, 40% off peak.
Over how much more? How much longer is that 10, 15% going to take?
It depends on a variety of factors. Like, I mean, it seems like we're trying to speed run it with a lot of the things that are happening in the economy right now. If bond yields keep pushing rates up, it'll probably happen faster. So like you have two options, right? Eventually we will catch the wage curve. The basement boys aren't wrong on that, right? We have to. Like that's what causes prices to grow. So in order to catch that, like here's your wage curve, here's where we are, right? You can either go straight down or down over 6 months and catch it in 6 months, or you can go sideways for 2-3 years and catch it in 2 or 3 years. I think that probably prices fall. I think we take the faster route because we have war, we have trade war, we have massive job losses, we have AI as a headwind for job losses, we have return to work, being used as a layoff tool. We have the federal government doing austerity, which nobody was predicting. That was not priced in, to be honest, right? Laying off whatever they just announced, another 12,000 jobs,
17,000.
Yeah. So plus we just have a absolute shit economy. Like our economy is so weak, man. Like that's you're stacking all of those things on top of that. So I think we're going to take the fast route. I think we'll probably see prices, and when I say the word bottom, like a bottom to me doesn't mean that we go down and then immediately up, right? Like people think that it's a binary thing. Like what usually happens is prices stop falling. And then for a year, people see, prices are growing, or they're at 0%. They're not at -7% anymore. And after that year of not seeing constant price declines, people say, prices aren't falling anymore. Probably the next thing that happens after prices stop falling is they start increasing. And so you probably have, I don't know, another year of declines. We get into like mid 2027 and you start to hit a long flat bottom where there's no growth, 0%, which means your real house prices, which is really what's going to hurt people, your real house prices are not growing. You're losing probably 2 to 5% on inflation on your house every year. And then you start to see really modest growth start taking place after like, a year or two of flat. You go back to the 1990s, it was the exact same thing, right? Steep drop, slow grind, and then long flat period, and then a slow grind back up. And it took like, 12 years to get us back to the peak?
Mm-hmm. Ugh, gross. Okay, Don.
Can I get one more in?
Don? Yeah, you get one more in, and then we're getting rid of you.
Last one, Don.
Okay, sorry. Dan's damn well good at what he does, so I want to ask. Okay, so what if private equity implodes, and then it turns out half the Magnificent the Magnificent Seven, WorldCom, like it was just hollow, bang, gone. Now what?
What's the chance of that? Like how would the Mag 7 be hollow? Like they actually make a ton of income, right? So like they're not fake businesses by any means. Are they priced inappropriately? Probably. Do they correct massively? Probably. Do we see a negative wealth effect as a result of it? Probably. Does that lead to recession and give central banks cover to drop rates and stimulate the economy? Probably. So, I mean, the thing that's killing Canada right now is that, and actually the global economy, like even in the US, is that we haven't seen a recession, right? So you've got this long, slow grind down, and we're all levered to the gills, and so we're bleeding out on a month-over-month basis. What typically, like the economy that indebted consumers want is a V-shaped economy, right? And we don't have that because we don't have bad enough economic data to make central banks jump in and save them and try and stimulate the thing out of the market. So we are looking at like a 1990s grind of a recession, but that doesn't mean collapses like Don described. From my perspective, it means these long, steady, slow grinds down that kill people over a 10-year period. It's like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Or like you're bleeding out. Like, would you rather have your arm cut off, or would you rather have like a huge cut in your arm and bleed out while you're trying to walk home from the middle of the desert? Or would you rather they just cut it off and you can cauterize it and figure it out from there? And it sucks a lot more because it's gone.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to make that
better than bleeding out over 10 days.
It's hard to make that choice. Like I personally had to make that choice in 2009 because probably could have bled out a little slower for a little longer, but like I don't know. what's easy for some is not so easy for others. And I think most normal people who have like a job, you know, they have this pride of not losing the house for some reason, right?
For sure, man.
Like it makes a big difference. For me, I was like so used to fucking things up in front of people and being embarrassed by shit that I just, you know, chopped off my arm and said, fuck, let's just start again. We know what we know now, and yeah, just kind of go. But I mean, part of me wishes I didn't take that route, to be honest with you, that I figured out a way. But I kind of feel like sometimes there's just no better way.
I think a lot of people also will. I think a lot of people also believe that the government and the central banks will rescue them, right? Like you look at like Canadians, like 2021 was a perfect example of like people feeling way too confident that Canadian real estate can bounce off of anything, right? So we saw 2017 non-resident speculation tax price drop 30%, and by 2020 it had all been recovered. Or by mid 2020 because of the central bank dropping rates. And then we saw stimmy checks. We saw, you know, a ton of QE, and people feel like the government will rescue them. They're wrong now in this instance because the government can't afford to rescue them. It's now doing austerity and it can't afford to pay their debt service. But that's what Canadians think. And so they're willing to try and bleed out longer because they think eventually help is coming. And they're not correct. And that's why it takes so long for the cycle to complete.
Well, it was weird back in 2009 or 8 or back in the whatever they called it, the GFC. Here in Toronto, things went to shit, and then within a year, they fucking bounced back and were rip roaring and went past where they were at when things fell apart.
Well, shit happens when you drop rates to 25 bips, right? Like that was the first time our overnight rate, and then Carney was our central bank governor at that point in time, right? First time you drop interest rates to 25 basis points, it's obviously going to help. They don't have room to do that right now, right? They cannot get rates that low without it being causing complete runaway of inflation and catastrophe in the economy. And they proved that during COVID, and they proved that they're not responsible enough to be allowed the tool of rates at 25 bips because they let it persist through 9% inflation.
Yeah.
And their last announcement, they basically gave us that guidance to say house prices need to come down. Everyone was complaining about house prices going up too fast, and now they're going down. And in order to create affordability, they've already tried lowering the rates. It doesn't create affordability. It makes it worse. House prices go out. It outpaces the affordability aspect of the interest part. Everything else becomes more unaffordable. So then the entire basket is now the issue. So they're like, okay, well, how do we basically they're not protecting the housing market. How do they create more affordability? They're going to let house prices come down. I want to ask Dan a personal question. So Cornwall right now, what's the rental market like out there? What's going on? Because I'm getting some like lower rents and less people looking for renters in Cornwall right now. What do you think is going on out there?
Yes, I mean, it's negative wealth effect similar to what we're seeing everywhere, right? So if rents are falling in Ottawa, which they are, right? Rents are down 15%. Then now all of a sudden somebody who was renting in Cornwall and commuting can go rent in Ottawa, and so they're leaving, right? So you're it's just people shuffle around. It's the same thing as when people left Toronto to go to Calgary, and now rents are down in Toronto and they're coming back from Calgary. So I think
what about
we're seeing that for sure.
Like how many multi-family, how many purpose-built rentals, like what condos, like I don't have the whole data over there.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit, but not a ton. Like it wouldn't be comparison. It wouldn't be compared. So if you look at Cornwall's the lowest or second lowest. I think it's the lowest on the like price to income affordability metric if you want to get CMHC MLI Select. So it's not a compelling market to be a developer of multifamily in. Whereas you go to like Calgary, you can get all of your MLI Select points on housing affordability. So the fund that I used to be in, they have built a couple of multis out there, but they ended up using CMHC standard rather than MLI Select, right? So you're not seeing a ton. Like you go look at like Kelowna or like a lot of the prairies that they're building like 10, 20, 30% of their housing supply right now. Cornwall's not doing that. So it's not at risk of being oversupplied, but it's also not at risk of having excess demand because not everyone, people went to Cornwall before because of affordability. But if they don't need affordability less now because the surrounding area is more affordable, then it's less of a draw.
Yeah, international students too. I think that would have been they would have probably had a hit as well from that.
A little bit. But the other thing that like not a lot of people know about Cornwall is that when Roxham Road was open, if people came up Roxham Road and made it into Quebec, if they didn't speak English, like literally they just had somebody waiting there and they would say, do you speak English? And if they, do you speak English or French? If they didn't speak French, they wouldn't stay in Quebec. They would go to a refugee center, which was in Cornwall. It was like a huge hotel that was rented out by the government for refugees, and it was like, you know, it was like a village, right? Like 1,000-room hotel. Like it used to be a big aviation training center in Canada, and then eventually they would sort of spill out into the other parts of the economy, and so so they would, you know, become residents of Cornwall. They've gotten used to shopping there. They go find a job, whatever. That's slowed because we've seen Trump crack down a lot on the second country refugee stuff. So there's that one. And the other one is Cornwall used to be like, they have like the economy, and then they also have like a pretty big black market back from like the drug trade in a lot of the mob stuff that was happening in Montreal. Like a lot of people don't know this or admit it, but you know, there's border crossing there that's like pretty chill and lenient and whatever. Like I'm obviously being hyperbolic, but there was a decent black market in Cornwall, and that now you can do crime anywhere in Canada at scale. So it's like less of a requirement from a geography thing. So I think that actually might have had an impact, believe it or not.
Just like the Vancouver market, right? All that money laundering, right? Like all
Right.
the crackdowns on the casino guys. I was watching some YouTube. I was doing a little bit of a dive last night on the casino runs, and you just see these people with just huge duffel bags of cash, you know, all the mobbed up Chinese guys, because one of the guys is, you know, on some charges right now. But so Daryl's got a project. Daryl's got his Forest Hill project, luxury one Thelma, luxury condos. We're seeing like a ton of activity. Like there is
I
like
believe that.
there's just people with money who are not affected, and they don't even know the things that you're talking about today. They're just like, no, everything's going fine. I'm at the stage of my
No,
life.
that's not true. They know it, but they don't have to worry about those things in the same way that other people
They
have
don't
to worry
spend
about
hours
that.
a day reading those articles to find out what's going on in, you know, the economy. They hear about it, but overall, they're more worried about, you know, their lifestyle, their grandkids, their families, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't care, like, because they know that 90% of these things materialize in quantitative easing and currency debasement, and their wealth is just going to improve as a result of it. Like, so they don't really, like, the writing's on the wall, right? Disparity is going to continue, and they're going to, if you're rich enough to afford in Daryl's One Thelma project, you're probably already a net beneficiary of, you know, inflation and the currency being devalued, and so you don't.
100%.
Why would you don't care what scope of causes in lower society makes that necessary?
It's really true.
JFK mentioned, he goes, I found out about the Great Depression in university because he lived through it, but he just wasn't affected by it. So he found out there was the Great Depression in university, in class.
Sure.
Yeah.
Learning about it as a student.
Well, but
you know?
like there's different perspectives, right? Like look at our perspective versus, I guess, people in the Middle East right now or in Iran. Like we feel what's going on a little differently. We don't even know what the fuck's going on depending on your feed, for fuck's sakes. I had people over for dinner last night, okay? And we're sitting there talking about things and we start getting into politics a little, which was not a good idea at all. But you realize how people's feeds are so vastly different. It's insane.
We're all in our own echo chambers, right?
Oh my God. Well, I don't know if, I guess it's echo chamber, but it's not even like we live in the same realities. Like me and this girl are talking about things from such different perspectives. And I'm like, I don't know if what I'm saying is true, but this is what I'm hearing, you know? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore.
All conversations like that. I don't know what I'm about to say to you is true or not, but this is what I was told by my algorithm.
Which is pretty...
Good thing Foch is in my algorithm, you know. That's, you know, you gotta pick and choose, right? That's the thing. You gotta click, and I get rid of the people. Like I get rid of things. If there's somebody who I keep seeing, it's like negativity or like I'm sure lots of people got rid of Daryl and I, but I make sure that I like physically remove them. Like I don't want to have that person's content anymore. It's useless to me. You know, I think that's the new 2026 way of getting things done. What else are you working on, Dan? So we talked a lot about AI. We talked about the economy. What else are you working on, like investments and stuff? What's the next thing that Daniel Foch Enterprises is working on?
On the investment side, like just doing a lot of, I mean, same stuff we've been doing for a while. Like I think the first time I talked to you guys was like during COVID, maybe like 21, and like, you know, we were just doing like small multiplex stuff, right? Just buying up like major arterial roads in like the 905. I've moved that a little bit to the 416, so like trying to do some more multiplex projects in the 416, but like they're hard to come by. It's hard to come by good deals right now.
What
Like
do you need to see in the 416? I get this question all the time. What do you need to see in the what kind of lot, location? What do you need to see to make sense of a multiplex with like a garden suite in the back, 5 units?
Well, ideally you get severable. So I don't know, like I guess you can do I think you can sever a 40 footer right now. So 220s, 6+1 on either side without minor variance. It's like super rare, right? Like or like with minimal minor variances that are likely to get passed. And then you can do 6+1 on either side. So 14 units, and you know, CMHC MLI select.
Or
no, they have to be the same title for CMHC.
Okay.
But yeah, you could like after the mortgage, you could sever them. Yeah, 14. Well,
2 pins.
Yeah, and the semi-detached. So like, you know, you get your 2 sixplexes connected, and then your garden suites in the back that are separate from one another. So like stuff like that, I'd say land price has to be pretty exceptional, and the rents in the area have to be pretty exceptional, because we are seeing like rents really vary geographically now, right? So like East End Danforth works decently well for this stuff, but the lot sizes are hard to come by something that you could do that. You can do a single, but I mean the severance is really what makes it happen, to be honest.
I had a guy complaining about St. Clair and O'Connor. He's like, I have 2 fourplexes being built on either side of me. He's in a bungalow. He's like, the guy bought same buyer, either side of him, and he's got 2 fourplexes right now getting built.
Move. It's hard, man. Like you can't beat the market, right? Like you know, it's my advice, like because we door knock, like there's 60,000 of these properties we've door knocked or cold called like about 80% of them, and the most common call back I get is F off. You know, you're not building this in my neighborhood. And I say to people, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you should buy the property then and protect it, right? And then blah, 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 it's like, okay, well, sorry, like I don't know what to tell you. Like the market disagrees with you, so if like I can't, it's not my fault. And that's the funniest part to me, right? But yeah, so plexes, I think we're like super bullish on still. I mean, it's just going to be the only supply that gets created in the next 5 years in most Canadian cities, right? High rise doesn't make sense. You can't unless you're doing a super luxury project like what Daryl's doing. You know, nobody's buying $1,400 a square foot high rise mega projects when the resale market's at $800 and prices are trending down.
Yeah, they're not even buying them for $800 a foot right now, which I kind of wanted to talk about that bailout $1.3 billion fund. We're running a little long in the tooth here, but if you got a few more minutes, and we still have everybody's favorite segment with Dave at the end of the show, which we got to squeeze in here. But like,
what's going on with this?
Yeah, what is going on with
this? Going on? We got a real show here.
No, but we aren't smart, so we have to try and be entertaining. But so this bailout or whatever it is, what do you think about it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I know there's some positives, some negatives. Who the fuck is this guy, and why the fuck him? Like, what do you think about this thing?
Well, like, I mean, I saw it coming, right? Like, you know, it was how long is it going to take for the Ford government to realize that they're going to have, you know, 15% construction unemployment in 2026? Well, apparently they had to wait till 2026 to figure it out. Yeah. So now all of a sudden they're trying to get these projects liquidated so that developers can get cash out of the projects and keep developing either rental or whatever. And now they're waiving HST and all of these other things, right? Like they've waived HST, I think today or yesterday, for all projects, not just first-time buyers, whereas the federal government just did it for first-time buyers. Look, they're just going to keep throwing the kitchen sink at it because this is going to be catastrophic. And the trades are the last people you want unemployed at scale, man. Like they have the guns and the snowmobiles and the big trucks and all that stuff, right? Like if anybody's going to get their pitchforks and be pissed off and actually be a threat to the government, like when you hear that RCMP report about like instability, like those are the people that I'd be afraid of losing their jobs at scale. So I think that they're paying a lot of attention to this stuff now. Too late for sure, but this is just like, I don't know, it's one of those mega funds. I think Canaccord did the raise, like they did an exceptional job. They'll acquire and they'll flip it to like a Blackstone or something, like realistically, or a pension fund or whatever, because pension funds can't participate in merchant activity. Like there's lots of these that exist.
I thought that they'd buy them, stabilize them, and then flip them. But I mean, that's part of the actual mandate that they've put out there. They're supposed to hang on. Yeah, it never is. All right. Well, I mean, it's more shenanigans, but it does absorb some of the inventory out there, supposedly, if it actually
just
happens.
touch on it quickly what it is, just because we just kind of jumped into that without explaining.
Yeah, basically a huge fund that's going to be buying unsold or returned, so failed to close condo units from developers, from large developers, right? So basically,
blocks of units.
10 or more.
Yeah.
10 or more. So if you're sitting there and you got 50 or 100 left over and you're willing to dump them at below market, whatever that means.
The rents are going to be, the affordable part is 25 to 30. I think we said last show that's what the price is. It doesn't necessarily mention what price they're going to pay. They're going to pay market, I imagine.
It says 25, 30% below market, but
that's the rent. That's the affordable housing element.
Are you sure? I think that's what they're going in at with their offers.
No, I think that's a rent. That's what I read.
That's a rent. Yeah,
that's the
rent. But they're gonna. I mean, look, to cash flow those deals, they either need a really good interest only facility from some lender who's willing to step up and do that, or they need to pay They need to pay. Yeah, they need a lot of cash, or they need to pay nothing. Right? Like they'll be 3-4x levered. Like they're not putting all cash. But they'll put in as much cash as they need to be cash flow.
Yeah, and some cheap debt,
cheaper interest only debt. I mean, you can put, I think as long as the blocks are connected, I think you can do, like there are guys doing CMHC standard on stuff like that. So, you can get a little bit of an extended AM and a cheaper rate. But that's not an interest only facility. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, man. Like, there's other guys doing this stuff with, in smaller scales, and they're doing pretty well, to be honest. It's just not public. Like this stuff's happening.
I've seen some block sales, and then interestingly enough, I'm sure you must have seen it on social media somewhere. Jeremiah just put up like a block deal in Kitchener, I think it was, where I guess he's offering 50 units left over in a deal in Kitchener, which clearly everybody would want to get like really quickly, right? Because 50 units in Kitchener sounds like a great thing to have.
It's a university town. For the right price, that's probably super attractive.
I guess for the right price, anyway.
You just look at multifamily is still a great market. Like you can look at the last year's multifamily report. There's still a ton of big investors buying 100+ doors. Like it's really strong. I think people are really bullish on long-term residential rents and everything like that at the institutional level. So if they can go and buy 50 units as a block and it's for the right price, there's management efficiencies and all sorts of stuff there. Like I can see that being a really nice, lucrative thing. What I think needs to stop is the whole investor condo pre-con stuff, like individual landlords who don't know how to be landlords.
That's done.
I know. But what I'm saying is even just like as a whole, like try to get rid of those units, put them all back into the market. Over the next 20 years, people actually buy those units and live in them, even though I know a lot of them are not that great. But just people shouldn't be landlords. I mean, the average person shouldn't be a landlord. They don't know what they're doing. It's not efficient. It's not good for the tenant. It's not good for them. There's better investment vehicles that they could have used. Like it's just, and we need to go a little bit more towards institutional landlords in order for us to like have a healthy real estate market, in my opinion.
Or just better ones.
And then the landlord tenant board can get cleaned up. Think about that. Imagine if there was only, and this is super like, not realistic, but imagine if there was only 4 landlords in Ontario, right? And the board knew these guys played by the rules and everything was going to be done a certain way. Like that landlord tenant board would be running smooth, because they would know that everything was done in a way that was based on certain rules and certain guidelines, and that we wouldn't have all these issues. It's the shenanigans that cause all the delays, which causes all the issues, which ends up exacerbating all the issues. All right, here we go. Live.
Everybody's favorite part of the show. Right? Where are you live from, Dave? Dave, we call this a portion 2 minutes with Dave, Dan, because his audio is always fucked and he never lasts longer than 2 minutes.
We're working on him, but he hasn't got Dave. Are you there? Can you speak today?
I can't hear him.
Dave, mic check. Give us a mic check, Dave.
Hear me?
There he is.
It was working fine before.
It's working perfectly now.
Did we do a mic check with you?
Before. It was working now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay,
Let's
good.
Go, Let's go. It's your time to shine. You got Dan Foch.
Yeah, I'm on Latin.
There's an echo, Dave. Don't screw it up, Dave.
Oh, cool.
Come on, Dave.
I wish I could watch the show before I joined to know what you're talking about. I couldn't watch. You can hear me?
Yeah, you're perfect now. Let's go.
We're talking about AI and real estate. We're talking about investments. We're talking about
your
economy. Come on, Dave. Come on,
now
Dave.
All your audio is messed up for me. I don't know.
Dave,
anyway,
I believe in you, Dave. I know this time is going to be the time.
2 minutes with Dave.
Dave. Oh man, I knew. I thought he had it that time.
Dan Foch is not impressed.
Dave,
I'm
Dave,
into it. Dude, I
What a
did Twitter
shit
Spaces
show.
for a long time. I get this stuff.
we'll get you back on next time, Dave.
2 minutes
Don't
with
worry.
Dave.
We got
Every
you.
week so far, Dave has not been able to figure this out.
He's too nervous. He's just gotta calm down. He was waiting there for an hour and a half.
Unfortunate.
to do his bit.
Unfortunate. Well, Dan,
good.
we could talk to you all day because you are, one of the most well-spoken, well thought out, and well-researched guys in real estate. So it's always a pleasure having you on and talking to you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
sounds like you got.
Don't forget about us. When you're running the real estate AI industry, when your avatar is running the industry.
Never would I ever, man. I'll be back always.
Please share your thoughts. But yeah, great show today.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time, sir, and we hope to have you back in the future.
100%. Thank you, guys. What do you want me to do? Just hit the leave button here?
I'm going to hit the button and see you later. Adios. Thanks, man. All right, TK.
Okay, that's what I was going to say is how do we exit now?
We exit by doing that. Yeah. I'm getting it slowly but surely. We're getting the hang of this.
Honestly, today, other than a few obvious mistakes,
a couple of bad ones,
you did great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I feel like everything came up. I think there was a few. No, it was good. You were good. You did a better job than I would have done. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Foch is definitely he wears a lot of hats. That's for sure. You know what I mean? He's definitely way too smart to be a realtor. I don't know what that means, but I mean that's how I think
he's definitely too smart to be a normal realtor for sure.
He should be doing what he's doing. He said he was getting his master's in economics. If you caught that, so that's cool. That makes sense. That he should have that on a wall somewhere, so that way people take you more seriously.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah. Oh, look at this. D. Trent is here. Hi, D. Trent. What's shaking? Thanks for coming at the very tail end of the show. We should get D. Trent on. How do we get D. Trent on, for fuck's sake? It's been 6 years.
Trent doesn't want to go on the show. He doesn't want to let people know who he is.
He's
hiding his identity.
Oh, here we go. Guys, are you ready for what's coming? He's already starting. He got here, just jumped right in.
He can't help himself.
Can't help himself. Jesus.
I think we're okay with whatever's coming. At the end of the day, Daryl's got a project that's bulletproof because it's incredible product and incredible location. I got to help people no matter what the situation is. Believe me. I'm working on a deal right now where there is zero equity in this deal whatsoever, and I'm just trying to negotiate the release of the property so that this poor person doesn't have a huge debt on their shoulder afterwards, so I got things to do, trust me.
Yeah. It's a crazy market right now.
And our podcast is doing great. So,
we're having fun. It's a good
This is the
time.
reality. So I mean,
it's like a party.
Whatever happens. At the end of the day, it's not something that I can control. So for me, I don't focus on the negative. I focus on the positive.
I think it's that's
there's what's important. Right, Daryl?
No matter what business I was always in, TK, I always figured, you know what? I don't really care about the competition because I don't have to worry about them. I just have to focus on my own stuff, right? And if I do my own stuff as best as I can, and I really, keep my clients or my customers in mind, and I actually worry about getting them back again another time, that things just tend to work themselves out one way or another. Now, it does help to align yourself with the right people, but sometimes you don't know who the right people are. And that's it's a tricky game right now because you don't know who's who and what's what, because we've all been so used to working in an environment where you couldn't be wrong. You couldn't do anything wrong. It was like everybody was a superstar, everybody was a genius, and everybody looked like they, were rock stars. Yeah. And then you realize people are not really actually willing to work. Not even that they're not willing. They don't know how. They never fucking had to learn how to do this business properly, right? Well, I lost your audio. Your audio's gone. You muted yourself. You've been muted.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that
Were you saying anything important, TK?
Probably not. But I was talking to a client yesterday. I'm putting a house on the market that essentially it's a flip. It's a big reno, but they had some utility. They were using the property and nobody else. But they've totally renovated it, and everyone wants to make money. So I hope we get it done. It's a nice central Toronto location, so we'll see. But long story short, is I was trying to explain to them like me flipping houses and stuff when I was young, and how you don't always make money and everything else too. But really, what I should have said was the market was going up, so I made money. And once the markets don't go up, I don't make money anymore. So therefore, like, what type of investment strategy is that? And their particular situation is bought at high peak prices. Property values have come down, and even though you renovated the most beautiful property and done an amazing job in every single way and it looks great, doesn't necessarily mean you make money, because at the end of the day, the market is more powerful than anything else. That's just what it is.
Well, I'm hoping to prove that there are parts of the market that you can make money on at all points in time. And if you buy smart and you position smart and you actually do what people want and can actually buy, maybe you still have a chance. And we're going to prove that really soon, aren't we, TK? We're going to prove it to everybody. Oh, TK. Before we guarantee the sales at One Thelma, we have Dave. Dave is persistent, and it is called 2 Minutes with Dave, and we didn't get to 2 minutes, so we're gonna try one last time, TK, before we go, because I really gotta pee, but I really I want to know what Dave has to say, for fuck's sakes. I mean, I'm not just getting Dave on because he's a good-looking guy. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. Don't get me wrong, but he's here because he's got a brain on his shoulders. Where can you? Is it working now?
I don't know. You tell me. Is it working?
It's working, buddy. All right, let's go.
Is the refrigerator running? I don't know.
I can't hear the refrigerator. You are working efficiently and effectively. TK seems to be having a problem. But I can hear you perfect. What's happening out there? Where are you, in Ecuador?
I'm in a Latin American country, and it's not like I didn't know what to expect before I got here, but I'm still alive. That's the main thing, right?
Well, that's good.
But yeah, I left Canada like 2.5 years ago, and like your viewers probably know, like the struggle is constant in Canada. It wasn't like that 30 years ago, as far as what I hear from older people. But yeah. Anyway,
that was not a full sentence or a full formulated thought.
There's no question, but it was good though.
It was a good statement.
That was good, man. That was probably the best bit you did so far.
So you can hear me okay now. I don't know why it was messing up before, but
that was good.
We were talking about I don't know what you were talking about in the joining, but obviously real estate, right? I'm guessing that's what it is.
The first
basically real estate, AI taking over jobs, all kinds of stuff. We were talking about AI and health and wellness and all kind. We were leading into you, and then you just kind of did your thing,
Thanks, though, Dave.
Is he talking?
What
Dave,
we'll do
we can't hear you again.
What we'll do is we'll get you back on next week.
Is he on a phone this time?
We'll get you back next week, Dave. And I want you to prepare, okay, a monologue, 2-minute monologue next time. When you get on next time, I want you to just read. Don't listen to us. Don't do nothing, but just read what you have written down.
Send in a
and
video.
Make sure that it's like 100% done perfectly. Or you could actually record a video and send it in. You got this, Dave. I believe in you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. All right, go.
My audio is anyway.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, but it's like I couldn't hear you before when I joined. I couldn't. Your audio was out of sync, so maybe Riverside is no good. But anyway,
maybe
everyone. Yeah, I was worrying about finding a place to live. That's why one of the reasons why I moved to Latin America. Housing is lower cost, but I also had subtle health problems. The doctors were saying, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with you, but here, take some pills." I said, "Okay, if there's nothing wrong with me, why am I taking pills?" And this is what I hear a lot of people almost never talk about. They're Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay. I'm not trying to make this a plug, but it's like everyone's talking about money and housing. Where's the talk about health? But you might go to a chiropractor or a homeopath, but do they really?
Oh, for God's sakes. Wait, maybe you're pressing a button over there or something.
No, I'm not pressing a button, any button, nothing. My hands are...
Something weird is going on. Can you hear him, TK? Can't hear him. I can't hear him either. All right, Dave. Well, we tried once again. That was, I think, 2 minutes, though. I don't know if we could hear him.
He's
for
got
2
a future
minutes.
in radio.
He has a future somewhere in something. TK. I don't know what it is.
Good for you.
Well,
Good for you. So, I mean, let's summarize today's show here and we'll end it. AI is replacing 70% of a realtor's tasks, but
You're right on that 70%,
10% of realtors will survive. The other 90% will disappear. The economy's screwed. Prices aren't coming back anytime soon. Best case scenario is, flat for a few years before, anything starts to recover.
Yeah.
The government's going to bail us out one way or the next. They're going to try their best at least, but it's only going to be, so much that they can do because obviously, lowering rates will end up bringing inflation back up. One Thelma is the best project any luxury buyer could buy.
Boom, 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 boom.
Cornwall is still a safe place to invest.
That seemed a little self-serving, but that's okay.
It's not overbuilt.
It's not overbuilt.
And
no,
Dave,
of course it's not overbuilt in Cornwall.
Dawn, I don't think Dawn hates me. I've never gotten that feeling from Dawn, but someone put that in the comments.
Dawn doesn't hate you.
Dawn's a friend of the show.
Hates realtors, right?
Oh, yeah.
In general.
He even tells me that I'm not the one that he hates. So, and Daryl, Daryl didn't say my name that often this show.
I didn't talk that much because I'm busy trying to do all this other shit. So
yeah,
I gotta
we figured out how to subdue Daryl.
That's
we
right.
gave him a new job, new software, new technology.
I got too much
he's
going
just a
on
listener
here.
now. I love it.
Now I'm a listener, and I'm just trying to
Foch
guide
too
things.
is always somebody that we respect and we can listen to forever because he's always got good stuff.
Yeah, you
no one
don't
wants to
need
hear
to
us when he's on.
interject. Exactly. Like, I want to hear what he has to say. I mean, I get to see his videos like everybody else, and occasionally, I guess, talk to him from time to time. But when you get him on here and he's trying to, tell everybody what he knows, you get some of the good nuggets of maybe, current stuff he's working on. And he's always leading edge with all this tech, like
maybe not everything's going to go where he wants it to go, but definitely something's going to stick for that guy. And he's going to be taken over.
I think a lot of things are sticking for that guy, and I think being on that bleeding cutting edge, that one of them will take off pretty big at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know about this Clawbot thing or Clawbot or whatever the fuck it's called.
It is cool. The homies that he's got going,
it's
like
very
it's even
cool.
got a cool name. Like I even want to have homies helping me with my business.
I guess it's the right target. Like I don't know if a 60-year-old realtor's using homies.
But they'll get my monthly, recurring subscription, and I think that's the whole goal of any company these days.
It's a cool thing. Listen, I'm trying to automate a whole bunch of my stuff in the background for some of the stuff that I'm working on because it just makes fucking sense. Well, I mean, why have some idiot doing it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when the last time you had an actual employee was, TK, but like employees are a real
people work for me.
Well, fine. So they're a pain in the fucking ass, aren't they then, TK? You can't say it when you actually have them.
I'm a pretty good
people are a pain in the ass, TK, and the more of them
lenient.
Yeah, well, you know, when the paycheck is being signed by you, it's a different kind of employment or employer, right? And so people rarely live up to the expectation of the guy signing those fucking checks, right? Because you kind of expect people to do shit, and they don't really like doing shit, and it's a constant struggle.
Everybody that I cut checks to every single month does exactly what they're supposed to do. So.
Yeah, well, you are an anomaly, TK, or a liar. One of the two.
Everybody. I'm super happy with all the help I get.
That's fantastic, TK. Well, I need to hire some of your team then, right? Now, I have a pretty good team, but I don't give a shit. There's no way that they could live up to the standard that they present when submitting a proposal, okay? Yeah. That's just the honest to God truth. Well, Dave's texting me, so I got to go console him again.
Go console him. Dave, good man. We'll see you next week. Daryl, appreciate you.
Always
Adios,
a pleasure.
amigos.
Always a pleasure.